Hi, Rashmi. Welcome to Global Influencers Hub. Here we talk about the life journeys of social media influencers. And we cannot wait to deep dive into yours. We start right from Rashmi as a child. So tell us how you were as a child.
Thank you for having me, Devika. I'm really excited for this conversation. If I think back to my childhood, I would say that I have been a very quiet kid. I did have a lot of questions, and I used to ask those questions, but they used to be in my just head, and I would try to read about those things from books because internet did not used to be this common, and try to find those answers. So any sort of curiosities that I used to have, I used to fulfill those curiosities as a kid. So that is what I can remember. Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think back to my childhood.
Fantastic. Were you more of a why kid or like a how kid?
I would say more of a how kid because like when I think about how I think about how things are working and what is the reason behind them. So I did have a lot of questions about how the society is working, how the earth is made, how the universe is made, and how is it working. So all of those questions used to be in my head, and I try to understand that process. But I would say it used to be mostly all theoretical. Yeah.
Of course, of course. Now tell us about the first time when you actually like looked up at the sky and thought that, oh my God, what's out there?
I would say that could be sometime during my summer vacations. I used to stay away from the home that I'm currently living in. And whenever I used to come back to my grandparents' house, so we live in a village, and the night sky used to be like absolutely clear compared to like anywhere I can go. So when in one of these summer vacations, when I looked up and I could see that there are actually so many stars, and people don't really talk about stars in the books, neither my teacher nor my friends. But when I actually saw, I could be in my teenage, 12, 13, I think, I was completely, I would say, awestruck, and I felt like, why don't more people talk about it? I tried to ask questions to my parents. I told my friends when I, returned from the summer vacation to the school. I could not find other people sharing my enthusiasm, but I would say that was one of the first times as a kid when I just looked up and I couldn't believe how clear the night sky was. And if I start counting the number of stars, I would go on and on for hours, and there were still so many of them.
Absolutely. Wow. This is like amazing. So, did you build any like do it yourself experiments or any like do it yourself telescopes or any like science experiment at home that you remember during your childhood?
I would say no, not really. Most of the things that I used to think just used to be in my head, and I used to just observe the night sky. I don't remember making a telescope or anything similar to a telescope. I had like the very first time I had seen an actual telescope working was I think when I was 18 or 19, and that's
Ah,
how I got into this field as well. And the first telescope that I made could be just 2, 3 years ago.
so who was your first science hero?
I would say my first science hero would be Stephen Hawking
Ah,
because so I would say my first science hero is going to be Stephen Hawking because when I watched his show, it was I think called Universe Into the Universe. As a kid, I think I was preparing for my board exams. I watched that show and I absolutely loved it. The way they went into so much detail about hypothetical, such grand science and astronomy questions, talking about aliens, but in a mathematical way, and talking about so many other things.
right,
So
right.
I would say that was a very good beginning for me. And then I read his book as well. And then I started reading more and more astronomy books or books about space. And I think when I looked at his journey, and the way he used to do science communication and the way he used to talk about astronomy with so much passion, I just felt very inspired and drawn into the field.
Fantastic. Now you walk us through your journey. Tell us about like after school, what happened, or like during school. Like tell us about everything.
Yeah, so I would say during school there were not a lot of so during school a lot did not happen when it comes to astronomy. It was just when I used to go to my this house in the summer vacations, then only these things used to happen. And till I was in my 10th class or I was in my 12th class watching these TV shows in the night. I think before then the things used to be very less, the spark used to be very less. But as soon as I started watching the shows and watching, the documentaries and reading science news and reading the books and asking these questions and seeing if anything in my books, like my physics or science books, is related to what I want to study further, that's when things started to really take a turn for me. I decided that I'm gonna try to pursue astronomy, I'm gonna study it, and I searched it on the internet that what are the different ways we can become an astronomer in India. And I realized that if I go to Delhi University, I could study there astronomy for a few months. Like there's a program, an elective course, if I study a bachelor's in physics, and I decided that yes, I am going to go to Delhi. I decided that I want to become a scientist and not necessarily an engineer. So it was very easy for me to decide whether I want to do a BTech or a BSc when I see my other friends like really struggling with this option. Like, what do they want to study? I'm like, no, I don't have a choice. I have to study a BSc physics and I have to study maybe MSc physics, MSc astrophysics, and PhD astrophysics. Like, it's sort of set for me. So, with that in my mind, and because I'm from Haryana and Delhi was like super close to us, so I've just decided to study there. And when I went to Delhi, I did not find a lot of people, at least in my college, who were interested into physics.
Astronomy.
The yeah, physics, astronomy, the way somebody with a lot of passion would be. Maybe they're just studying it because they want to get another job, or maybe they just want to do a degree. So it was very hard to find people who were like actually studying the degree for the love of physics. And I would say I was the same. I did like astronomy, but not physics. And I tried to read books of physicists as well at this time, but it did not just, do it for me. But astronomy is like a little part of physics, and that kept me going through my degree. I wasn't doing very good in, I would say, college when it comes to my attending classes or doing the exams because I was trying to find other options, how I could pursue astronomy. So I was going to the planetarium there. There is a planetarium, Nehru Planetarium there. So I used to go there. I tried to attend these astro camps. They were like the very first time I got introduced to them, that you go to a different location and a lot of people are there. There are telescopes set up. They are far away from the city skies, so the sky should be clear. And I really love the idea for it, that how people can do camping, astro camping, space, and how all of it is a bit different from how my college life was going. So I started to even intern at one of these companies which used to organize astro camps. And I used to be very active in taking part in the events that the planetarium organized, whether I am a participant or I am in the team that is sort of helping it organize it. And I just tried to get into more and more these different types of outreach events as undergrad. And I would say that's how I decided that physics, I'm not sure how much I like it even after doing it or studying it for more than 2 years, but astronomy, because I'm not studying it in college, it's very wonderful. And then there was a shock to me that the reason why I went to Delhi was, to study these astrophysics in one of the semesters as an elective. But my professor told me, the one who was about to teach us, that there are not enough students in our college who are going to opt this, so this is not even an option. I think maybe just two, three students out of my batch wanted to study it, and that's why it was decided that there's going to be no astrophysics this semester, this year, but it's going to be something else. I don't even remember what it was. And I used to be so sad about this whole thing that I could have chosen maybe some other college where the professor was different, maybe some other university where I could have gotten some research experience in the field, because all the experience I had in astronomy was through myself going to sometimes conferences or workshops. So it was very limited and very informal. But then COVID hit, and I decided that I don't like research that much because I did not have experience with it. But I do like outreach, so I am going to explore
Mm,
outreach and this field of science
very cool.
communication and this field of
Very cool.
outreach. So that's how, from COVID, I just got into astronomy outreach and science communication, I would say full time.
Wow, I have to say that I can just hear the passion speak as well through you, which is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Great. Now, tell me about like this statement called, if the statement like making science accessible. What
Mm-hmm.
does that mean to you?
Um, I would say making science accessible would mean that a lot of people, when they think about science, they don't see it as a part of their daily life or something that affects them or something they can understand. It's like, something that is far away from them, and their life and what is happening in science and technology is like not related. It's like mutually exclusive. So when I realized that if I understand some concepts of science or understand some concepts of astronomy, and then I can apply it or see it in my daily life, I want to share that with other people. Like once I have seen or understood something, I want to share that with a very pure intention, that because this thing is making me happy and curious, I want to share that with the world. And I know that the best way to do it is in a very casual or informal setting, because that's how I was able to understand it. So, and
Correct.
one of the ways to do it is to talk about it on social media, because there you can't be ever so formal and full of jargon. So, by the virtue or by in itself, if I am talking about anything on social media, it is a bit more accessible than maybe reading or sharing that in a book or anything else that's a bit too formal or academic. So I would say the way I learn things are always when they are accessible. Otherwise, if they're too complicated, I'm not able to understand them. And whenever I share something, I try to make it in a similar fashion that more and more people are able to relate to it, and more and more people will be able to understand it and maybe share that enthusiasm and knowledge, to other folks as well.
Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Now, translate. Have you ever had to translate a concept, a scientific concept, to someone who doesn't really have that much of a scientific knowledge or doesn't have that much of a background? And how did that go?
Usually I have to do that whenever I have my stargazing sessions. Like people ask all sort of questions, or I ask all sort of questions to people. And sometimes there are a lot of because we're talking about the stars, astrology sort of steps in, and they have different beliefs. And to navigate that, actually, because I am also talking about constellations, and they already have some preconceived notions about constellations. So it's always a give and take, where I try to explain how the way the constellations of the zodiacs they think, are set in astronomy, or the maths behind them. And it is always dependent upon how stubborn the person is. Like if they are open to learning, and when I try to explain them how maybe what we see in the night sky, what we call zodiacs or constellation, how they actually appear to us, what do they mean. So when I try to explain that, some people are very open to it, and they are really fascinated by the new information, and they ask me a lot of questions more and more, till we reach a point where both of us don't know what is going next, because we have reached a point where I'm like, oh, I had never yeah, even I have never questioned this. So I would say those are some of the best conversations, where we start at something, and if the person is open to learning, and if they are open minded, we are going to have a good discussion back and forth. I will share all of the knowledge that I have with them on the particular topic, and they will keep on asking more and more questions, and we will reach a point where we both are like, okay, we will have to look it up, and we'll connect tomorrow or day after, and we'll take it forward. So I would say those are some of the best conversations, where I don't know what to say next because yeah, I would have to like read more to answer that question. And it
Well,
is
so
coming from
someone
a
who
person,
challenges you in some way.
yes, yes, yes.
Right,
And it is a person who did not share maybe the same beliefs as me, but they're
right.
open to learning and now they're inspiring me to learn more as well. Yeah.
To mood as well. Now, what's the most rewarding part in this? Like when someone comes and tells you, I'm not a science person, or you're explaining something to them. What do you think is the most rewarding part when of your bit?
I would say when something that I've shared on social media, like one of my videos, if it has helped a person in their life anyhow, I would say that is one of the most rewarding aspects. So either it is something I do on social media or something I do in one of my sessions. So if I talk about my sessions, then maybe I'm talking about the night sky and I'm telling them the stories, the different stories of the constellations, and they tell me that if I am not here and whenever they have looked up at a clear night sky full of stars, they see it maybe for 5-10 minutes, but it doesn't really make sense to them. And it's just like they see it, it's nice, maybe they take a picture and that's it. They call it a day. Like there's nothing more to do. But when I come and I'm just coming without any equipment, let's say, not even a laser or a telescope, it's just me and I'm talking about look here, look there, and I'm talking about the night sky and I am able to engage them maybe for an hour or two, and then they tell me that like the night sky is the same, but with this new information, it means so much more to us, and I think they can keep on looking up, and they will keep asking me more questions in the future. And if this session had not taken place, the night sky is sort of like it's beautiful, but they don't really associate any stories or a lot of feelings with it. Like they don't feel that connection to maybe their ancestors when they look at the night sky. So I would say when I have done this, like I have shared some information in a way that is understandable by them, and it reaches or it touches something in their heart the way it touches me, and then they're like, wow, this thing is so fascinating. We can't wait to share it with our partners, or we can't wait to share it with our family when we go back, and we
Mhm.
hope to see more and more clear night skies, and we hope to share it with so many other people. So there's this joy in them that the night sky is no longer a blank or like a strange thing to them, but it is making them excited as much as me. Yeah.
Wow, now share a moment where someone unexpectedly told you how much your work actually inspires them.
That happens sometimes through my videos. So I make videos, I would say, for myself most of the time. Like when I see something nice, I'm like, okay, I want to, share this and I want to make a video about it on Instagram. And I used to make a lot more videos on Instagram earlier. So I think it was in one of the last jobs that I was doing, and we had an intern, and I think she was like about to, I think, pass from 12th grade. She was about to head to college, and I think I had just uploaded a video where I was talking about how I used to be as a kid, very introverted, and yet I had some, I would say, insecurities, but through astronomy, I have been able to overcome them. And the video was mostly about that, where I'm talking about, all the things in the caption. It was a very long caption and some trendy audio and pictures. And I was like, I made that post because I wanted to feel good that, wow, it's sort of a feel good post. And I think after 2-3 days, she met me and she was talking about her future of her college life. And she dropped that, I really loved the video that you posted. I even showed it to my mother, and we both really liked it the way you have shared all of this. And I had no idea that people can relate to my struggles so much, and so much so that they even share a video of me to maybe their parents when they talk about life and when they grow up. And I think that really touched me because sometimes I feel like people just scroll through my videos and maybe they just send a like they don't actually read stuff. But if somebody tells me that they have read it and it meant something to them, and maybe it is something that they're using to connect with their parents, or maybe they're using to build or think about their careers, it really touches me a lot. And I think I become more and more intentional with the content that I post on Instagram then.
Absolutely, because that is so fulfilling at the time that you feel like it was successfully that video is truly successful in the true sense of
Yeah.
the term when you actually when you're actually touching lives. Absolutely. Now, was there a moment? What was the moment that you thought that, okay, I'm glad I do what I do?
Yeah, there have been many, many, many moments like that because I see a lot of people complaining the way they consume social media or complaining the way they have their professional lives because there's so much stuff they're doing and it's not necessarily making them happy. So I would say following my hobby and my interests into my professional life is very fulfilling. Like it comes with its own, I would say, pros and cons. But there are times that I am able to like actually do like four or five things together through my professional life. And it's not that I'm something that I'm doing in my professional life is like completely different, and all of those four to five things will have to be, now adjusted in some other way. So when I get to travel and travel to different locations just because I love seeing beautiful natural places, at the same time I can, make it astronomy. I can make it science. I say, that's like very fulfilling because it's not that I'm doing something and then I'm earning money and then I'm spending it here, and these both things are like sort of very far away, and I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. And I see a lot of my friends and other people like complaining about they want to change their jobs or they want to do something else in their life. And when I see myself that I can really just talk things on social media, and that can actually help me give more opportunities, and that can actually help me fulfill my other interests. I feel like so privileged and lucky that thank God I'm doing this, and thank God this is all working out because otherwise life would have been so much harder. And yeah, it's like much fun to live this way, I would say. So because I'm able to pursue my passions and my hobbies in my professional life, that is like super rewarding, like all the things I'm able to do with because of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, are you
Yeah.
driven more by dreams or discipline?
I would say dreams, yeah. Whenever I have a new goal, a new dream, I just go with it. Sometimes I lack discipline, but sometimes I get disciplined because I want to achieve that dream. And that dream is like solely mine, and nobody else is telling me to do it. So I would say the discipline sort of comes on its own, but it starts with a dream and with a new goal.
Absolutely, 100%. I completely echo that. Now, do you ever switch off completely from science?
I do whenever because I said when it comes to following your hobby in your professional life, then it's always like you are always doing work. Like there's not a place where you are not doing work because it's like so integrated in your life. So I do switch off sometimes from science when I would say I am playing video games or board games with my friends, because then we can just like they're so away from science and astronomy that it doesn't even arise. And when I am playing or when I'm maybe talking about different things like social life, or I am meeting new people in a different setting than my work, that is when I like completely switch off. If I'm creating something new, maybe something to eat, a new recipe, or if I'm playing a new game with my friends, or if I'm learning something completely new, which I know that I'm not going to use it in my career, then I feel that yeah, I can switch off, but I have to like be very intentional with those things because otherwise, my one hobby like sort of overtakes my whole day.
Hold it. What
Yeah.
pulls you back to Earth?
Um, I would say astronomy is like a very humbling career, as Carl Sagan had said. So I am, and most of the people who follow astronomy are already, I would say, down to earth. They're all grounded. So even though we look up and we look at the night sky and we have like really big questions, but at the same time, we really do think about the philosophy of science as well. And when you think about all that, you become more and more, I would say, patient with the things that life throws at you. And you become a bit more also adaptive to the challenges that there are. And of course, a bit more, I would say, caring and loving towards a random stranger or any other person. And I think it's just comes down because you know that we are like this universe is so big, but the Earth is so small, and it's very hard to find life elsewhere. It's very hard to do so many big things, and we are here for a very limited time. So when you see and learn all of these things, and when you feel all of these things, I would say living a life, this human life, actually becomes much more easier. And living as a part of society is also a bit more easier.
Absolutely. Wow. What's a compliment that stayed with you longer than you expected?
Um, I would say that came before I came into astronomy, before I even started making videos, I would say. That is like one of the compliments that sort of inspired me, or it has, been with me, like I would say maybe 10 years now. So that was, I think, when I was in my school still, and I was like preparing or learning about science through a coaching or a tuition. And I told you that I used to be like a very shy kid, very introverted, did not really used to talk to my friends or other people like my classmates, but we were talking about something. I think there was something very funny that a bunch of us, like me and my girlfriends, were like just talking about and really laughing hard about something. I'm not sure what it was. And then one of the girls really told me that, Rashmi, you should laugh more. It's very nice, and I think you should, tell your jokes, or you should participate more in the conversation, because we really like having you today, come in our group. And before that, I used to be very distant from the people and very like insecure and all in my head. And when I got this compliment that they really enjoyed my company, and they were complimenting the way I laugh. And I was like, okay, I am going to go all in. And it was like just maybe a year or two after that that I became enough confident to put, I would say, my pictures or my videos on social media. And I always think back to the girl that complimented me that she's gonna like it. And then just somehow I became more confident with public speaking, with speaking in front of anyone, everyone, no matter who it is. But I would say before that incident, I used to be like very, very into just with myself, like overthinking a lot of stuff. But that is one compliment where I think it sort of eased me down. And yeah, it always stays with me. And whenever I feel that maybe people are not going to like me on social media, maybe people are not going to like me in real life, I should not be part of this conversation, sharing random information about astronomy or anything else. I think sometimes I think back to that experience, and that just fills me with a lot of, taking risk and doing what I like more.
What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story. So I think
Yeah,
it is very true, that when you interact with anybody, if you leave that person with something, you never know how you'll change that person's life.
yeah,
It's literally, I think, yeah, I think that's exactly, in your case, it's beautifully integrated in your entire approach to life, I would say. That is
yeah.
fantastic. What a beautiful story. That's a great takeaway from today's conversation, I would say. Now, what's
Yeah.
that one non negotiable that you have in your work or life in general?
I would say because I've worked with a lot of different organizations, over the past 5 to, I would say, 7 years in my career. And sometimes they're startups, and with startups, you never know how things are going to go. And like things are still very new. It's not like a big corporate company. So one of the things that is like sort of non-negotiable for me is, I would say, transparency. Like people should be really transparent with their intentions and motivations when they're working in a company. Like at least when we are in a company, and I am sharing something and it is reaching somebody else, and sometimes that scale is very large. So I have faced this issue that the people that I've worked with seem very nice in the beginning, and also maybe because it's the shared interest of astronomy and space, that I can become very biased and not see or do like a background check and stuff. But whenever I see people, so they seem all very nice, but eventually if I realize that astronomy is also like a niche field, and some people come into it just with a mindset of money making, that it's not popular in India, they don't really care about it, they just want to sell some things and make quick money. So I would say that is something that is like really off-putting to me, when astronomy or science or like space, just they see it with a very business mind sort of thing. and that leads to people feeling bad, the customers feeling bad, and their view of astronomy is ruined because they see, oh my God, these companies, these private space companies, they just care about selling some stuff, and this is what astronomy is. And I feel that that is happening sometimes in India, maybe in other countries as well, but that is something that really bothers me, and I try to like separate myself from these people as much as possible, and also like spread awareness about these things. That like in astronomy, like there's so many new companies because this is like gaining a lot of attention, and people just want to leverage this opportunity. And sometimes when they're trying to do that, somebody who really likes it, and if they are not met with proper curiosity, but it's just a transaction. So I think that may ruin the customers or a student view of astronomy what it is. So I would say that's just one of the non-negotiables for me when people are like really not transparent, and they are sort of using other people's interests and likes and desires to, just make money and in turn sort of hurt them. So I would say I've seen that, and I hope that reduces, and that's something where I don't work with. Like, I don't care how much big we can make this thing if the core of or the stem of the whole idea or the mission is just to make money at the cost of people's desires. So I would say that is one of the things that is like a big for me.
So you're saying that you don't like if something is just like a business-like approach.
Yeah,
There has
especially
to
in
be
this
more to
field.
it.
Yeah, there
You
has
mean
to
that?
be more to it. There's like feelings involved. So if somebody's feelings are hurt, that they really wanted to get something, like you promised them something, we're gonna give you a telescope, or we're gonna take you to a different astro camping site, or we're gonna give you this or that,
Hmm.
or like there's so many things that you can promise in this field to somebody who's following it, because they're not gonna get it from school or from college. They will
Hmm.
always get it from these informal ways or through private companies only, and then you don't really give it because maybe you've already made the money, or maybe you're thinking in some other way. So I would say when like people's feelings are hurt because of these business who are like totally driven on people's desires, I try to like stay away
I
from
see.
such people and companies, because then I would also start feeling the same way, like it's
Mhm.
just another event, just all of these things. I'm just thinking about all the transactions that I'm doing, and I'm not no longer connected to the people, and I'm not longer connected to the people the way I am connected now. So I always try to be very in touch with the people. I would say with social media, I always get to talk in the message or in the comments, or even in person. So I'm like always connected who's watching my videos, and maybe the scale is like not too big yet, not too small. So it's at a good place right now. But yeah, I would say some people see it very differently, and they still exist in the field.
Fantastic. That explains everything. So,
Yes.
a question that you get asked too often.
Which telescope to buy? Which is the best telescope to buy? That's the question I get asked the most over and over again. And I think one of the first videos that I made was exact on this topic as well. What's the best telescope to buy? But it's like there is no best telescope to buy. It depends upon where you live, what's your budget, do you want to go somewhere, do you want to do photography with it, how often do you want to use it? Like there's so many things, just like there is no best phone to buy. It depends upon what your needs are, and it will be different for everyone else. And
Hmm.
like there's of course budget is like a big part of it. Like there is a best phone to buy in 10K, there is a best phone to buy in 80K. Like they both have best, but they're best for you, not in itself. So people ask me this question like, what is the best telescope to buy? And then we have like a back and forth conversation about it. Like how they have to like get rid of the idea of best, because every telescope is good, depends upon if it fulfills your need. And yeah, it's a nice question because at least people are interested into buying telescopes. But I would say that they can just see it as buying a new laptop, buying a new
Or a
TV,
phone.
buying a
Or
new
a phone.
iPhone. Yeah, it's just like they have to see it that way, because there is no hidden telescope that I know about is like best for everyone. So it
Correct.
doesn't work like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
It really actually, first thing is budget. That you need to
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what your budget is because everything,
Yes.
yeah. Cool. So, and what is that one question that you wish people asked you?
I wish the one question that people would ask me more is once they have done something, then it's a follow-up question. For example, if they have tried looking at the night sky, then maybe they could ask me, I was not able to locate the Scorpio constellation. Can you tell us how? Like I tried to do it, but I was not able to locate it. So once they have tried doing something and then they want help, or then they want some advice, then I would say those are some of the best questions that I wish I would get asked more. Like people want to see something in the sky, and they sort of there are there, but they're not exactly sure. They're not able to find it, and maybe if I could help them that way. But it's not completely like they did not do any research. They did not actually spend any night looking up. Spent a few hours. So some questions which they could maybe just ask Google or anybody else. I don't like questions like that. I mean, you can ask what's your best telescope to buy, and then you'll get a website similar to what I was saying with all of these things. But if somebody has done something and now they're sort of stuck, like they can't really go forward from there, and now they want some advice or help, I would say those are some of the best questions. Like maybe they try to take the picture of the moon through their phone, but they're like, no, I'm not able to get it. This is what I have so far. How do I get better from this? Or this is the number of stars I know in the night sky. How do I get better from this? Or this is how my videos are doing on social media. What do you think I can do better? But they already have like 5 to 10 videos on their account, and it's not like there's nothing, and they ask me, and it becomes very vague to actually answer it. But when you have something, like they've done already something and now they're looking for the next step, maybe where I could be the best person to answer. I would say those are the questions I would say people, if they ask more, I would love to answer them rather than a generic question that maybe they could ask Google or like literally anybody else as well.
Correct. Wow, very cool, very cool. Wonderful. Now tell us a little more about your social media, how you got started, what happened. Tell us about that journey.
I started it in, I would say, COVID, where I actually had like a lot of pages on social media for my different interests before astronomy became big. I had a personal account, I had an account for my favorite artists, like singers. So I think I used to have like 3 accounts for the different artists that I used to follow. And then the fourth one was like the science facts account, and maybe some other for anime shows that I used to watch. So it's like I have so many interests and I have so many fan pages for them. So astronomy page was like just one of them. And eventually, my personal account and all of the other, singer account or anime account that I had, I stopped using them slowly and slowly over the next 2, 3 years. And astronomy was the one that sort of won in my interest. It started with just posting, I would say, facts, random facts that I used to learn from social media itself, from Instagram. So just maybe taking a screenshot and then posting it, or maybe taking the screenshot from Reddit or some other social media app and then just posting it. I was like very young at that time. I had no idea how, Instagram was actually working. But when I was in college and I started to go to these events, and participate more in these astronomy workshops, I think that's when I loved talking about it on social media. And like now it's no longer a random facts or science page. This is like this page has a face, this page has a name, and then I chose the name Astro Roxy because Roxy is like my nickname. And everybody who likes astronomy on Instagram is like either space or astro and then underscore their name. So it was like very easy choice for me to just use that name, and I started posting my pictures rather than something else. And in the COVID, I think I participated in some competitions which were about making science or astronomy videos. These were like science communication competitions. So I started making videos actually for them, and then I realized I had like very good comments that I received on Instagram from mostly my friends and other people. And I felt there was this Reels option that had just came again, I think during the COVID or so. So I started using that, and I started using more and more videos because I really loved learning that feature and how many people I could actually reach from it. And it really helped me in my career because I am a science communicator, and there can be like 2, 3 different things that you can do in it. Either you can become a science writer, either you can become somebody who makes videos, or you can become somebody else with a different skill set. So I felt like I want to be the person who is like on TV or on social media, or the person who speaks about science. And Instagram really helped me with its different features, reaching so many people. I used to collaborate with other science communicators from all over the world who were in this field, and I really loved it. That you know, through this medium, through this work, I am able to connect to these people who I still look up to. So it's like really beautiful, and I would say I just got bigger and bigger on making videos. But at the same time, after COVID, when I was starting to work with other companies and other people, I got a bit more busy and I could find more comfort in the job that I was doing offline than the job that I'm doing online. So then it
Hmm.
just sort of became like maybe I can post a video or two here now and then. Now I don't have to become any more bigger because like I don't have to become just an influencer. I also want to do other things, and I want to work with different organizations and like help and get more skills. So even though if something happens to Instagram or something
Hmm.
happens to maybe Instagram is banned, let's say tomorrow, just like TikTok was banned, I am still able to find a job, a career, and I'll still have other in-person experience because when it is just social media, sometimes you are very off from the reality of it all.
Of
If I
course.
want to talk about something, I may not talk about it. I will try to post something that is just trending, and then I think it can give a lot of issues the way you see your hobby because it's like conflicting. Like you want to talk about something in that way you like, but maybe Instagram's algorithm, because you understand it, then you're like, but this is not going to do well. Maybe I should talk about it in a different way, but you don't like that. So I think when I see those things, I sort of stop using Instagram and those videos. Then I'm like, okay, I like conducting events or I like talking about people, of astronomy in real life more. Maybe I can do it later when I have a bit more clarity or when I want to change my styles. So I would say this is something that I do. I love to do it, but I don't just do it so that I'm like more grounded in reality and not just on social media
Not
itself.
just on social media. Now, do you respond to your own DMs?
I do, yes. I mean, I'm the person who manages, I would say, my Instagram. So there are sometimes like too many DMs when some of the videos, they reach a bit more views, like, people asking all sort of questions. So I do respond to most of my DMs. It's usually some question or people just want to share some pictures that they have captured of the night sky or some videos that they have found fascinating. Yeah, and of course, my friends also text me there. So I do open, but I'm not that active, I would say. Like, I do reply to anything that has to be replied to, but sometimes there are just random videos that are maybe people just send it to everybody. I'm not sure how they work. Like, they're not astronomy or science related at all, but it's just something random. Then I don't reply to them, but yeah, I would say I'm the person who replies to most of the comments that I receive in my DMs or anything else. So anybody who's trying to reach to me, like they may get a reply within a few days or so if I'm like, not doing a digital detox or something like that.
Cool, very cool. Like, is there a DM that stands out in your mind?
Um, uh, I would say, yeah, whenever I think sometimes when I have done live Instagram lives, I think there was one when I was doing when there was I think a conjunction that was happening. That is like I think Saturn, Venus, or Saturn, Jupiter. Two of these things were like
Yeah.
visible very close in the sky, and I was like uploading a lot of stories and stuff. Like guys, look at this event. This is pretty rare. I think it was like 2020 or so, and there was somebody because I was like posting it throughout the day, and people all around the world were seeing it at different times because it was visible from everywhere, but like everybody has a different time zone on Earth. So I remember that a lot of people did text me their pictures, and they were from different countries. That like this is how the sky is looking in the evening, and I'm from Egypt, and they're gonna share that picture, and then somebody else is like, oh, this is how it is looking from maybe somewhere in California. And I think somebody really wrote a thank you message as well that I looked up and I was able to capture this picture. And this is only because of your stories that you have been posting. So if it was not for your stories, I might have missed this. But I captured it, I saw this, and this is a picture. And I think they were somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure where they are from. But I think those are the messages that really stand out to me. And then they sort of push me that, yes, I should post more stories because you never know who's going to see it. And this may be, that if it was not from a story, they might have missed on this event. And yeah, so I think those are like some of the examples where I'm like very happy that I did something and that really changed in something in somebody's life, and they
Correct,
were able to see
correct.
something in the sky.
And also, like,
So
people get a little more interest in astronomy as well that way.
yeah, yeah, definitely. They're like they are able to see stuff just by looking up, and they know a thing or two about it. So I would say they understand it a little bit more, and that's how to get them interested in this field, to post
Hmm.
more or to make more content when something is happening. For example, now the Indian astronaut is aboard the International Space Station. I'm not really making a lot of content on it, but I'm sharing whatever the other space agencies are sharing at least, so that people don't miss it, and there might be some video or some photo from the mission that people might get inspired by.
Cool. A scent that instantly reminds you of home. This is a light-hearted question.
I would say that should be the scent of soil after rain. That's like really beautiful. It rains a lot here, and I think I can just go out if it's raining and, like, sort of bath in the rain. So whenever I do get that scent of, the wet soil after it has rained, I think that's a very homely feeling for me. I look forward to it every summer, and yeah, just
It's a
being out there
wholesome
in the rain.
feeling. Yeah, it's a wholesome
Yeah,
feeling. Completely agreed. A food
yeah.
that you'd love to take to space.
Yeah, I would say, um, I have been watching the videos of the International Space Station, how people eat different types of food, right? And I was thinking, like, what is something new that I can take that I actually love? And that's like Indian and I actually love. So I was thinking of pani puri. And I
Ah,
actually thought it. I actually thought it, like, is it possible or not? Because in space, like, there are some things that you can't eat, or like
hmm.
they're not good to eat.
Hmm.
Maybe like aloo bhujia is maybe not that good to eat because all the bhujia is going to, scatter here and there. But then I was thinking that, okay, I have my pani puri, right? I have my puri, I have my all my sabzi or masala in it, but the water, it's not going to go everywhere. Like the way they put out water, because of the microgravity, it actually is like in a blob. I was thinking I'll put out a blob from the tube of water, and then, I'll put it inside my pani puri, and then it's going to be, I think, a very different feeling because it's not going to leak, it's not going to get soggy. And I was like, wow, that is going to be so awesome, to eat a pani puri in space, because pani is like a big thing and it's always leaking when I eat if there's too much pani.
When
So
you
I
have
just thought,
pani puri,
like,
yeah. So it's
yeah. So
pani
I felt
puri day.
like,
So pani puri is the
yeah,
winner.
yeah. And of course, it's going to have, so many different tastes as well. Like in space, you need
Yeah,
to eat something spicy or tangy. So I think it checks out.
it works out well. Now,
Yeah.
Moon or Mars, where would you rather go?
It's hard to say because both things have their own pros and cons, but maybe I would try to go to Moon simply because, like, if something bad happens, I can return back to Earth much more easily and faster. So I would say going on Moon, and of course, like, you can jump so much easily on the Moon itself, and you can see and you can get a better view of the Earth from there, and you can get a better view of the night sky from there because it doesn't have an atmosphere. So I would say Mars has a lot of beautiful things, but it's just like a bit more risky. So I would prefer going to Moon for
To
now
the
if I get a
Moon.
chance.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, most misunderstood planet, in your opinion?
I would say that is Jupiter. A lot of people think that Jupiter is like the big brother of the whole solar system. It saves Earth from the asteroids or the comets or things like that, but it's actually not true. Like there's like a 50-50 chance whether it can deflect an asteroid, or it can, like, an asteroid is just going on its way because of its gravity. It can, move it towards Earth. So I would say it's not really, it doesn't deserve all the credit it gets. It might have sent asteroids like the one that wiped out dinosaurs, actually, that might have been sent to Earth because of Jupiter's gravity. So I think it's a bit misunderstood. It gets a lot of good credit that Jupiter is a very good planet, but
The
I'm not
good
sure about that.
vibes. Yes,
Yeah,
so you're subtracting some of the good vibes that it gets.
yeah.
Okay. If you had a sci-fi nickname, what would
Yeah.
that be?
I would say I would go by my Instagram name itself. I think it's like cool and sci-fi enough. So I think I would just go by Astro Roxy. I don't want to spend any more energy with a new nickname. So I would say this is
That's
how
good
I
enough.
would
That's
be
good. Yeah, I think
liking my
so too.
life.
I think so
Yeah.
too. So, how do you see your work evolving the next 5 years?
I would say I am thinking of different things and acquiring new skills. So I see my work evolving in not just on social media, but I'm trying to reach to other form of medias as well, like how we can have these science TV shows uh, taken just like how they are in the other countries, right? Just how I got inspired by seeing them. How can I be a part of organizing them or creating them in India so that the science and astronomy shows that we have in India, they are a bit better, they have a bit more science, they have a bit more astronomy that's accurate. They're not just, like masala that's there in the movies or in the shows. So I think that is something that I'm really hoping to work towards to create these videos or these shows that are like seen by a lot more people. They have a bit more higher production value, more reach, and of course I get to travel all around India for them to create them and to talk to a lot of people. So that is something that I feel like I want to really get into it, that I don't just want to make like these short videos, because I feel like of course I can make them, but there are so many new people that can also make them. I want to now become bigger so that I can create those other things that other people are not yet creating in India. Like we don't have yet very good science shows, or if we have, they're like very limited and we don't have them. So I just feel like I want to do something so that we have
So I
like
think
good science
that kind of
shows.
aligns with making science accessible as well.
Yeah, yeah. And very like
Totally
Indian and
aligns with
homely
that.
feeling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's good alignment there. Wonderful. Now, suppose you met a child tomorrow who says that I want to be like you.
Yeah.
What would you tell him or her to focus on first?
I would say they should be fine with going against the world or the mainstream career option, because even though they don't know how just pursuing their passion might help them in the future, it will. Like there's just so many things we can do in life, and there's so
Correct.
many ways we can like earn our livelihood. So you don't have to just focus on mainstream and put your desires on like a plan B. Like let me get this money or job or whatever, and then I'm gonna focus on this. So I would just say like focus on your hobbies and desires, and it doesn't matter if you're not sure like how it's going to actually help you in your career. It will. And if you are like good at it, if you're skilled at it, if you're really doing it a good job, then of course people are going to come to you and give you opportunities. So a lot of people sometimes ask me like what should they do to become an astronomer, how much marks they should get in 12th, or how much marks they should get in their bachelor's and otherwise. And I'm like, I did not like physics when I was in my college, but it is because of my work eventually. Like in last 2 3 years, I was able to actually practice and do these physics activities somehow, and I was able to appreciate and learn physics later in the life. So I would say, getting marks in schools, college, like maybe that's like a bigger part in some way, but that's not it. You have to have that passion and desire to actually excel in your hobbies somehow, and then you'll be able to have sort of a meaningful and happy life, where you can create a lot of meaning in your life. So, and it's not definitely about comparing yourself to the other people. Like, this is what the other person chose, this is what this person chose, this is what 80% of the people are choosing, so this is what I should do. So I would say when we just follow other people, or what is trending, or what is usually 80% of the society is doing, that may not work out for you, because I'm not sure if it works out for anyone. But if somebody would ask me, I would just tell them, just follow your heart, be patient for 1 or 2 years, and you'll see something happening nice to you eventually.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because I think comparing oneself to others takes away your uniqueness
Yeah,
overall.
yeah.
Absolutely. So now let's jump onto some rapid fire.
Okay.
Cool. So one word that describes you when you're starstruck, literally.
I would say that would be just curious. Yeah.
Cool. A planet that feels like that matches your personality.
That's a hard one. I don't know which one to go with. That's really hard, but maybe I can go with just Neptune. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Messy desk or super organized?
I would say messy disk. Yeah, I don't mind the mess. Yeah.
What's your 3 a.m. thought on most nights?
My 3 a.m. thoughts on most nights are about where I'm traveling next and when I will be able to see the northern lights and what do I need to do to see that. So I would say most of the nights I'm just thinking about what I've done and where I want to travel next and how I'm able to see more beautiful night skies. So yeah.
Cool. What's one constellation you wish that would rename?
There's this constellation called Pleiades. I'm not sure like what's the origin of the word, like Greek or Latin, but it's very hard to pronounce, and I think I get it wrong in so many of my videos. So the other simple name for it is Seven Sisters or Kritika in Hindi. I think they could call it just anything but this Pleiades or something else. It's very hard to pronounce. So I could just change the name. It's not a constellation, but like it's close. Yeah.
Cool. Books or podcasts?
Um, books. Books.
Do you believe in aliens? Yes, or obviously yes?
I would say obviously yes, but not the kind of aliens that they talk about, like maybe in a series called Ancient Aliens. No, not like that. I mean, I believe in the possibility of aliens existing or extraterrestrial life, but maybe not the kind that is shown in the movies or like in the series or like Jadoo. So not like that, but I do believe that aliens, they should exist because of the possibilities like so high. Yeah.
Right. Have you ever cried because something in the universe felt so beautiful?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm just by myself and doing stargazing, sometimes it hits me. Like there was a recent time when I was just doing stargazing and I had this, like, it really hit me that the dots that I'm seeing in the sky that are like actual stars, like they're real and they're actual and they're so giant and it's all real. It's not just something that you're studying in the books, but the universe is real and you're part of it. I think I'm not sure why I started to think about that, but it really hit me and I was like very emotional after that that oh my God, like I should think about astronomy a lot more in our place in the universe because it's like so beautiful and I would say cosmic.
Wonderful. A quote you live by?
Um, Keep looking up.
Ah, I like it. Cool. What
Yeah.
song do you secretly dance to alone?
Um, there can be a lot of songs. Wow. I would say I listen to a new song every now and then. But there's a song called September San by I think a Japanese band like Radbums. Because I'm born in September, I'm not sure what the song is about. Like it's all in Japanese, but I really love how the singer is performing in front of a crowd. So I think sometimes I just go back to that video and I try to sing that and I try to dance to it because it's like a very happy vibe and it's like September, September. So I feel like the September, Miss September something. So I would say that's like a very special song that I keep going back to. It's like very timeless.
Oh, I'll look it up too. I'm September born as well.
Wonderful.
Cool. If the universe wrote you a letter, what would the opening line be?
Oh, um, something like don't worry about so many things, like chill. I think that's what the universe needs to tell me themselves. Don't worry and just chill because
Just chill,
it's like
just chill.
yeah, that's
A
all good.
mistake that taught you something very valuable.
um it's like there can be so many mistakes, uh but yeah, maybe sometimes I've made mistakes in my videos, like when I've not done a good job researching the video and the topic, and like the kind of comments that I've received because of that. Some of them were, let's say, very harsh and stuff. So I sort of, it was a mistake to first of all post it on different social media platforms where it should not have gone, like on Reddit. Like people don't like social media, like short form content there. So I would say, and then the video itself was not good. Like that was a very bad video to post there because there were like some mistakes in it. But eventually, I was able to realize that I need to be a bit more like I need to put more effort in my script and the video that I'm creating. Like I don't have to create it super fast. And also, I was able to see how other people see science communicators in India in general. So it was able to give me a new perspective and be more mindful of where I put out my video and kind of I could anticipate what kind of videos or comments I can get. And when I shared it on Instagram, I was able to get a lot of support from the community itself. That like they were, of course, the video was not the best, but irrespective of that, the kind of comments that I got, they were not justified, and I was able to like fall back to my community that people still like sometimes, the videos. So I would say it did really give me a reality check that one bad video and you could be like overthinking and sad and angry for like an entire month because of those like comments can be like really harsh and hurtful. And now I'm a bit more now the comments don't hurt me that much. Now I'm a bit more mindful of where do my videos go out, how do they go out. I can anticipate what kind of comments I can get. So now I would say I'm not a bit more mature after that experience, but it was a mistake to post that video on Reddit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We all learned, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
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 So cool. So what's your life mantra?
Um, my life mantra is about staying very, very true to myself and whatever do I have in my heart to express that to my friends and family and maybe to anybody I'm talking. Because when I'm able to speak my heart out and like be vulnerable with people, there's a possibility that they can do so with me and I'm able to like connect with so many more people because of this, or whether like no matter what kind of conversation it is. So I would say just being very true and authentic without really like doing all these checks like what this person is going to think of me and how is this going to go, that going to go. I think sometimes I just drop such truth bombs when I'm even talking to strangers, and I feel that creates a very comfortable space for me because now I've already shared, there's nothing more hidden to me or to my personality. I can be very raw, and I think that is something that some people really appreciate about me as well when they talk to me, that like I can like really speak my heart out without thinking too much about it and without feeling bad about it as well. Like I'm happy that I can do that. I want to be just this way only.
So the word is authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity on social media, off social media.
Perfect. Very good. Very cool. I think it is the age of authenticity as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that is, yeah, it is very true that given with the AI boom and everything, the only thing that will help you stand out as a human is also how authentic you are.
yeah.
So I think
You
you're
never know.
absolutely spot on with that. Yeah, yeah. Now I think we've covered everything,
Okay,
whatever we could, and it was so lovely talking to you. My team will reach out to you if should we have more questions.
okay.
Um, yeah, and or any other data they need or any other videos they need for the content, they'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
reach out to you.
Okay,
It was very I was almost mesmerized with everything that astronomy and an astronomer also has to offer. So it was
sure.
very cool. So yeah, if you can tell us how it was, you talking to us as well was, that would be great.
Yeah, so I would say some of the questions were really nice and they really made me think. Like, so I really love when somebody asks me questions that nobody has asked me before, and then it makes me think because it's like now I have discovered something about myself that I did not know before, I would say. So whenever you do ask questions like that, and there were some questions here in the interview itself that you were asking. So those were nice. For example, if you're talking about what is, one mantra that you live by, or if you're asking about who is your science hero. So because I mean there are a lot of people, but I had to like think back what is the very first guy who sort of inspired me in astronomy, and that was
Right.
nice to like think about it. Or maybe if talking about what do I want to eat in space, because then I'm thinking about taste, I'm thinking about maybe some of the physics of it, and then using all the different knowledge. And I think like it was very nice when I realized or pinpointed like, oh, this is what I want to eat. This is like such a good idea, and I want to talk or share this information with more people. I feel that, oh, this is what I want to eat in space or something. So I would say questions like that were like really nice to get to, and I'm glad that you asked them and you were able to participate in this conversation and provide, yeah, so much. So I'm really happy to
Fantastic.
have this conversation.
One other last question that I thought of now. If your life was a movie,
Yeah.
what would you name it?
Um, okay, if my life is a movie, what would I make it? Um, okay, I think I would just name it Interstellar. I think there's nothing better than Interstellar because that is my favorite movie, and when I think of my journey, it's also to the stars and through the stars. So I would just want to call my movie Interstellar, yeah. And I hope it can have as great and grand music as Interstellar itself. It's just, I would say it's my favorite movie, and yeah, it is also like one of the things that inspired me to pursue astronomy because it's like literally so beautiful.
Wonderful. Excellent. Okay, Rashmi, I think it was a great conversation chatting with you.
Yeah,
And we'll connect should we need more information. And
yeah.
I myself will start going for your lives as well. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to that.
Yeah.
So, all the best for everything in life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Devika. I had a
Yeah.
lovely time talking with you.